Tottenham Hotspur 4, Manchester United 3, and while I'm disappointed Manchester United lost that game, I'm happy that Manchester United actually gave Spurs a game and we weren't just destroyed 3-0 like we were at Old Trafford. I saw improvement, I saw good stuff from United. But I have to say, that game delivered. That game was entertainment because the first half was pretty equal. Spurs were 1-0 up, took the opportunities better, but maybe United could have made it 1-1. Second half, Tottenham come out, early goal, bully Manchester United for 15, 20 minutes. It goes 3-0 Tottenham. I go, here we go again. I'm thinking Man United's heads have dropped. I think Spurs are going to roll over. And then Spurs go Spursy, like against Brighton, like against Chelsea. Fraser Forster gifted us a goal, then another one came, and it felt like United. I actually felt like Man United were going to get something from that game, and while I'm disappointed, I think there's still a lot about that game to talk about. I want to talk about Solanke, I want to talk about Archie Gray. Now, if you want to hear my perspective from purely a Manchester United point, I've done my Manchester United video over on my main channel, Alice Talks Football. I'm now going to talk about this game from a Tottenham Hotspur perspective, and I'm going to have to say, you know, Bissouma was fantastic, Archie Gray was fantastic, Solanke showed what he brought, and I think Tottenham won because they had a bit more quality than Man United in the final third. I think Bissouma and Gray dealt with, you know, Manchester United very well, and it took Amad Diallo coming on for something to really happen for United, because I thought United were right in possession, but we just lacked in that final third. And, you know, it was a game of crap goalkeeping. Bain Deer wasn't good, Fraser Forster wasn't good. The injuries, you could see how it's impacted Spurs. Spurs had some really good moments, but then some really shaky moments. Same with Manchester United, and I think that was the story of the game. And I have to say, it can't be easy being a Spurs fan, because you're 3-0 up, you think you're going to be comfortable, and that game could have very much ended 3-3. Obviously, Fraser Forster sort of gifting Manchester United, but it was, I think, quite an equal game on paper. But I think Tottenham had the better quality in the final third. You know, United had the better XG. But Solanke, the physical flooring of Tottenham, I think that's what bullied us today. I have to say, Tottenham did struggle today playing out from the back. Forster and Dragusin definitely liabilities. They're obviously in a situation where their two best centre-backs and goalkeeper out injured, and that's going to be something that, you know, is going to affect any team. And that maybe I thought opposition are going to look at that as a weakness. But as I said in my video earlier today, where I did one player that each club should sign in January, Tottenham need to look out there and maybe the left centre-back market, get another centre back in. You could partner them with Archie Gray potentially. I thought Son, Kulusevski and Solanke were obviously the goal scorers, and I think that's where Tottenham won the game. Son scored from a corner, probably was bad goalkeeping. Kulusevski, you know what a player he is. He's still better centrally than on the right. And Solanke physically bullied Lisandro Martinez, who had one of his worst games in United shirt. I mean, there was no De Ligt and no Maguire today, which maybe would have benefited that game. I think physically Martinez and Lindelof were poor. I think Euro was the only Man United centre-back I was happy with today. It was a game of momentum because Spurs came out really good in the second half. I thought first half was quite equal. First 15-20% of the second half, Spurs came out really good, put 3-0 up, put the game to bed, and I was happy that United showed the mentality to get in it. I think Fraser Forster's goal just gave a bit of momentum, then the goal that quickly followed. I think that made it a bit shaky for Spurs and less comfortable than it should have been. But it was a game of momentum. United had good spells, Tottenham had good spells, but Tottenham lost control for 20 minutes. Could Ange have made subs earlier to win back that control? I thought Burville coming on actually helped them. I thought Maddison was quiet today. It was a very mixed game, and I did a video on Sonny's channel, and I said that there's some weird similarities between Man United and Spurs, because they have good players that can play good football, but then they have these moments and mistakes in them. And there's been games this season where I think Spurs have done enough to win, and mistakes have let them down, or not taking chances have let them down, like Leicester. And I said the same about United. But then there's been other games where they look like a completely different team out of ideas. It's like that period in it. And I think Spurs United makes an interesting matchup because of that. It was a toss-up between Archie Gray and Bissouma for man of the match, but the reason I'm giving it to Archie Gray is that he was out of position, whether he's thrown in left back, right back, centre back, DM. He can do a job. He's so two-footed, so natural in possession. And I think when the players around him, who were much more experienced than Forster and Dragusin, were shaky, I thought he brought the calmness there. I thought Spence seized the opportunity well. I thought he looked down that right channel really, really well. I thought Spence was impressive. I think Bissouma looked much improved. Bissouma can be like a 10 out of 10 one game, then drop at 3 or 4 out of 10s the next 2 games. He's I feel like if you get that Bissouma every week, Spurs would be blessed, but you don't know what you're going to get with Bissouma. Solanke was fantastic. You know, he gets stick, Solanke, and I don't get it. If you watch Solanke in his all-round game, you know it's good. And he's got 9 goals this season. That's more than Watkins. That's more than a lot of players. You know, and I thought he was fantastic today. And I don't know what it is about Man United, but I think Solanke's got 6 goals in his last 4 games against us, because I remember he scored 2 for Bournemouth, I think, when they beat us 3-0, or I can't even remember, but he was fantastic. Maddison wasn't really involved. I have to say this, Maddison, I think Kulu's better in the middle, and I think Maddison's a great player, and I think, you know, that's the one thing that Andrew's got to think about balance. You know, could Tottenham bring in an elite level right winger, and then you've got Maddison and Kulu to debate for the 10 role? That's maybe something that Ange's got to do. I think my biggest criticism of Ange is the subs. I think Ruben Amorim did his subs early, and that's how United got back in the game. And I think that's something that Ange needs to work on, is rotation, trying new things more. Obviously, I know his bench is limited. The amount of injuries there, or suspensions, it's not easy. And I think Sarr's picked up a suspension, which will be a massive loss in the Liverpool game. But let's talk about my man of the match, Archie Gray. What a performance at centre-back, especially as he was signed as a midfielder. If you'd have signed Archie Gray to be a centre-back and he delivered that kind of performance, I'd be saying, what a signing. But the fact you signed him to be a midfielder and he delivered that performance as centre-back, what a signing. He's so good on the ball. He's got so many other attributes to him that he is a midfielder, and I want to see him play at midfield. I did a video on Archie Gray before Tottenham signed him, saying that Tottenham should sign him. And then I did a video when you signed him about him and what a player he is. He's a player I rate highly if you've been following my channel for a while. But I actually said way before you signed Archie Gray, before you even linked to him, that you should sign him because of his versatility and technical qualities, and we saw that today. I thought he did really well in the centre-back role. I thought he was very comfortable on the ball compared to the others. The other players were pressing triggers for United. He didn't phase in possession at all. He was very press resistant. He showed the maturity, the calmness. I mean, saw a couple of people blaming him for one of the goals, but that's more on Forster, to be honest. And, you know, Bruno put some really good balls in for Højlund. There was an opportunity there for Xerxes as well. And nothing came of it. Højlund, you know, didn't get a goal or get his shot off because Gray was there, and Højlund wasn't getting service, because normally Højlund doesn't do much because he gets no service. There was balls and stuff going in there for him, and I thought Archie Gray dealt with it really well. He prevented Højlund from capitalising on that. I thought he put in such a mature performance. He read the game well. He really understood where he needed to be positionally, awareness. Dealt with physical players like Højlund quite well, and, you know, it'd be interesting to see how he does when he does get deployed at defensive midfield eventually. But obviously, I think midfielders where Spurs are probably the most stats. It's probably wing and defence because of injuries where they need improvements. But he's stepping up into multiple positions. Anybody that watches him play knows he's press resistant, comfortable with both feet, comfortable on the ball, can break the lines, can progress play, can drive forward, is very good on the ball, very good comfortably. But his awareness defensively is very good. And because he's got that long-legged frame and those long strides, he's quite fast. He can defend large spaces. He's quite comfortable, you know, winning the duels as well. I thought he was really, really impressive today, Archie Gray. Another stand-up player was Solanke, 2 goals from 2 shots. 1 out of 2 dribbles completed, 31 touches. And I saw someone say about Solanke, you know, Solanke's been starting attacking moves for Tottenham Hotspur, which is good that you can have a striker that can start attacking moves, but he hasn't been able to finish them. You know, you beat Southampton 5-0, he didn't get a goal, but today he got to finish the move. Today, Tottenham were creating moves that Solanke was on the end of, and Solanke's job as a striker is to finish the moves, and that's what he did today. I thought he was fantastic today. He absolutely bullied Lisandro Martinez. As a Man United fan, that was one of Lisandro Martinez's worst performances in United shirt. For as good as he is on the ball, he can get bullied off the ball, and he did it again by Solanke. I think his movement was causing problems, the runs in behind, but it was the pressing, the winning back the ball, the dribbling. You couldn't push him off the ball, and of course the movement and the instinct for the first goal, but then the physicality for the second goal to do Martinez like that, and then 2 cool, calm and collective finishes. Very clinical today, but it was his physicality, his movement was causing United problems, the running, the press caused problems. He's got 9 goals this season. People are calling him a flop, which is ridiculous. He's got 9 goals. If you watch Tottenham and you've watched their games without Solanke this season, you will realise how much better Tottenham are with Solanke on the pitch. Even if he doesn't score, he makes Tottenham a better side because he provides a focal point, because he can drop deep and start moves, because he can link up play, because of the running, because of the pressing. He provides the focal point. And he probably deserves 2 or 3 more goals than he's got this season, because he hasn't got crazy amount of service. Today he did get that service, and he made really those chances for himself with his movement, with his pressing, with his work rate. But he offers so much in terms of work rate, effort. He can score. You give him chances, he will score. Anyone that calls Solanke a flop has not watched him play this season, because Tottenham are so much of a better side with him in the side, the focal point he provides. It's ridiculous. And, you know, he got to actually focus on his attacking play a bit more today, and he bullied us again. I think you could argue Bissouma was man of the match. He's becoming an on-his-day player. I thought today was 10 out of 10 in terms of his ground coverage, off-the-ball movement. Garnacho didn't have a sniff. Anthony didn't have a sniff. He dealt with the 10s really well. I'm going to give it to Archie Gray because of his versatility, but I thought Bissouma was fantastic. It was the ground he covered, cutting out the passing lanes, winning back possession, and when he gets the ball, he recycled it quickly, played it well, comfortable on the ball. He was tracking the 10s, he was tracking the midfielders. Eriksen couldn't get involved in that second half. Manu had to come on, and he made it difficult for United. You know, Spurs obviously dropped the momentum, swung a bit, but he was winning back the ball. And the ground he covered at possession, the movement he did, he's one of the reasons that Tottenham got over the line. I thought he was fantastic. He showed technical security on the ball as well. I thought he was really, really good today. And I thought Spence was good. He was very good 1v1, did his defending well, was comfortable in the tight spaces on the ball, but he was getting up the pitch, dueling. I think he's got another assist today, but he carries the ball well. He won his duels well. I think he's absolutely solid, Spence. And I think, you know, I can understand why Ange doesn't rate him as highly as other players at Tottenham, but I still think Ange should have given Spence a chance a lot earlier. I feel like he's really been reluctant to give Spence a chance, especially when Porra and Udogie have needed rotating. So I think Spence took his chance well. But the big question is, can Tottenham win a trophy? They got Liverpool in the next round. It's a two-legged draw. That's going to be very difficult. I do think that Tottenham are a team that can cause Liverpool troubles on their day because of Tottenham's ability to run and probably match Liverpool for intensity, but Liverpool do have that extra bit of quality. Will Liverpool prioritise the Carabao Cup? They have put quite weakened lineups out compared to other teams. You know, Tottenham, I think, put your strongest lineup out if available fit, whereas United did Lindelof, Eriksen, Anthony. They did a bit of rotation there. I think Liverpool will rotate, which could help Tottenham. And I think that Newcastle are going to beat Arsenal. They've beaten Arsenal already this season. They cause Arsenal problems because of they're due to Arsenal, didn't they actually? Or did they beat them? Because of their physicality. I think maybe Tottenham, you know, if they can beat Liverpool, I think they can win it because I think Liverpool's the toughest team in there. I think Liverpool are the favourites to win. I think Liverpool, like, that's where I would guess winning. But you never know with Liverpool because they could play a rotated lineup. Ange does win trophies in his second season. You've beaten United, you've beaten City, you've beaten City twice this season. Although that being said, United and City haven't been great. Liverpool's a test. I think Liverpool are favourites to win, but I think if Tottenham beat Liverpool and they get to the final, I think they could definitely win it. And Ange says he always wins a trophy in his second season. Tottenham fans, let me know what you think. I still think Liverpool are going to win it. Let me know your thoughts on the match. I don't think it was an amazing performance from Tottenham. I think you were hot and cold at times. I think you made it difficult for yourselves, but you got the win. Some of your players played well. And as a United fan, I'm disappointed, but it's not like you destroyed us 3-0 like you did last time. I can just sort of relax and say, I see Amram ball. I see what Amram's trying to do. You know, it was this game of just a bit of a lack of quality at times, to be honest. But let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.